Welcome back. In this segment, we will be covering the setup of your real-time area and also how to translate a file that has been manually read in. In other words, where you did not do real-time. So, let's get back into our Winner software. And now I would like you to click on the real-time translation icon. You will notice that you have a mode called real-time, and for those of you that will be doing real-time, this is what you do want to select. For those individuals who are not doing real-time, you will want to make sure that you have a check mark in the steno file area. When you do this, you will see all of your steno files. Now, the next thing we want to do is I would like you to click on the Preferences button. And we are now going to set up the preferences that will be used whether you are doing real-time or whether you are manually translating a job. In Winner software, it does not matter. If you are not doing real-time, you can still take advantage of all of the features in our real-time area. First thing you want to do is make sure that you have the appropriate page layout selected. To do that, please click on the down arrow next to the page layout area and scroll down and select the layout that you have created. Please put a check mark under deletion active, and that means that as you use an asterisk, that incorrect stroke will be deleted. If any of you are still using two asterisks to represent a paragraph, please put a check mark here, otherwise leave it empty. For those of you that are using a stylus writer where you can create your own stroke for the stylus, please place a check mark here and click on Details. When you click on Details, please click on the specific keys that you want to use for your internal steno mark. When you have completed that, click on the OK button. Now when you depress that stroke for an internal steno mark, it will recognize it as your mark. The items to the right are basically for our folks that are doing captioning and cart. Let's go down to the artificial intelligence features. Please put a check mark where it says Auto Conflict Resolution. I would like to see each one of you that do have conflicts use this feature. In the Winner software, the conflict resolution is wonderful. I have many conflicts myself, and every time I have a conflict, it will actually pick the correct conflict every single time. So please trust me on this, and this is your best option in order to cut down on your editing. For those of you doing real-time and you are feeding out to an attorney, you would want to have the phonetic translation checked. If you have a stacking issue, in ProCat software you can put a check mark here and then click on the Details button. If you tend to stack certain words, like, as an example, when you hit the answer bank followed by yes, you may stack the yes right into your answer stroke. If you will put the second word of your stack into this area, and you must put it in steno, and then click the OK button, and you can do up to 5 stacked features, and I would put them in the order of priority for yourself. So the one that happens to you most often, I would put first, and so on. When you are finished, click the OK button. What will happen in our software when you stack a note? It will actually separate the two words and give you a proper translation. The stamp last used date I would leave unchecked for now. Allow blank lines is for our captioning folks. Please put a check mark where it says follow real time. If you are doing real time and you have a break and you may have gone back to the beginning of your transcript to do some editing, the minute you start writing on your steno machine again, it will go down automatically to the bottom of your file without you having to do anything. ProCat has also given you a drag and drop feature. Please put a check mark here and click on the Details button. Now, as you can see, this is an area that I use very frequently. These are for specific letters that you tend to drag and or drop or both. What you would want to do is you would click on the key that you drag or drop. Now you will notice I had the drag button selected and it added my initial H as a drag. If you make a mistake, just click on the drag again and click on the letter again and it will remove it from the list. Now the way this works, you must put these in the order of priority, the highest priority. So for instance, I drag my final G most often, so it's the first thing on my list. If you are writing a word and you happen to drag in your final G, what is going to happen in the software is it's going to look at that outline, and if that outline is not already in your personal dictionary as a misstroke, it's going to immediately look at your drag and drop area. And in my case, it sees that I drag my final G, and that is the first thing on the list. If my final G is in that stroke, it's going to remove it, take a look at the remaining stroke, and if it is a correct word, it will select it. It will also place that outline in blue so that you know it is coming from the drag and drop area. Now, after you've finished selecting the keys that you want to put here, and I might add, you cannot put every single key on your writer on this list, so don't even go there. These are for the things that are your biggest problem area. When you're finished, click the OK button. Now, in addition to the drag and drop, I would like you to place a check mark on Use Misstroke Dictionary. This works in conjunction with the drag and drop area, and I will talk to you more about this a little bit later when we get into globaling within the editor. However, as a brief description, what happens is when you have a misstroked word and it's coming from the drag and drop area, when you are globaling in your editor, it will also create other misstrokes for you automatically, and it will place them in a dictionary called misstroke. If you use or you stroke the word incorrectly in the future and it's not in your personal dictionary, it will automatically look at the misstroke dictionary, and you will be surprised how much better your translation will be without you having to add all of your misstrokes to your personal dictionary. All of these misstrokes will go into a separate dictionary, and you will never have to select that dictionary at any time. It will just be automatically used. Under number processing features, for me, I was taught to use the E key with a number. I do use my number bar. So if I'm writing 77, I would depress E7, and the software will automatically translate that as 77. If you were taught that way, please place the letter that you use for the repeat of a digit. Some people were also taught reverse digits, like myself. So, in other words, if I had the number 72, I actually write 2U7, and the software will reverse those two digits and translate as 72. If you were taught that, please put your letter that you use for reverse digits into this area. Now, we also want to set up automatic number conversion. However, I am going to cover this with you at a later time. The next thing I would like you to do is I would like you to click on the Writer tab. At this point, please select the writer that you will be using if you are doing real time, or even if you're not, I still want you to put your writer in this area. You will do that by clicking the down arrow on the side and clicking on your specific writer. You need to know what port is assigned to your writer. If you are doing wireless, it still will require a Bluetooth port. Now, the delay between each stroke, depending on your writer, it could be as low as 2, most people will be on 5, or it could be much higher. This area is in milliseconds. What it means is how long the software is going to hold a stroke before it puts out during real time the specific word. You may need to play with this number a little bit. Now, the next icon I would like you to click on is your audio video sync. The Winner software can automatically start and stop audio recording for you without you writing a stop and start stroke. If you would like that, please put a check mark where it says automatic audio recording. You also need to tell it to stop audio recording after however many seconds of inactivity. I have mine set on 5 seconds. What that means is after I stop writing 5 seconds, the audio will turn off automatically. The minute I start writing again, the audio will start recording again. Sound recording drive should be C. Now that we've set up this area, please click on the OK button. Now, this concludes the setup of the real-time area. I will be back in a moment to show you how, after you've read in one of your jobs, how to translate it. We'll be back in just a moment.